सपूत ये भारत के आओ, इनको स्फूर्ति स्थान करे। सपूत ये भारत के आओ, उनको स्फूर्ति स्थान करे। उनको सम्मानित करके हम खुद का ही सम्मान करें। भारत अस्मिता, 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 भारत अस्मिता। कार्य कुशलता मंत्र हमारा, बुद्धि अपनी ताकत है। ज्ञान है गहरा, लगन है सच्ची, और हाथों में हिम्मत है। कार्य कुशलता मंत्र हमारा, बुद्धि अपनी ताकत है। ज्ञान है गहरा, लगन है सच्ची, और हाथों में हिम्मत है। इसी अस्मिता को लेकर हम इसी अस्मिता को लेकर हम भविष्य में प्रस्थान करें। इसी अस्मिता को लेकर हम भविष्य में प्रस्थान करें। उनको सम्मानित करके हम खुद का ही सम्मान करें। भारत अस्मिता, भारत अस्मिता, भारत अस्मिता, भारत अस्मिता, भारत अस्मिता, भारत अस्मिता, भारत अस्मिता।
Let's give a big round of applause for the commitment of last 18 years of Bharat Asmita National Awards. And now it is time when I request the Padma Vibhushan, the Chancellor of Institute of Chemical Technology and ex-Director General of CSIR, the eminent scientist, the Chairman, Dr. Raghunath A. Mashelkar sir, to kindly address the gathering. Please put your hands together and welcome with a round of applause Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar sir.
Professor Vishwanath Karad, Rahul Karad, the spirit behind this entire movement. Proud awardees, maybe I should correct myself. Awardees who have done the nation proud. Ladies and gentlemen, let me extend a very warm welcome to you. I have been associated with these awards for 19 years, and they have achieved a new symbol of prestige. One feels very, very proud. You just saw the figures. They were kind of India's who's who have been honored so far. To begin with, let us remember Professor Karad. He is not just an institution builder, he is an institution himself. And we have the birthday today of this institution. So let us give a big round of applause. So Vishwanath Rao, 82 done, 18 to go. Only 18 to go. And we'll be all celebrating. These Bharat Asmita Awards, of course, it's not an award. It is actually our being very humble and in all humility, we fold our hands and say thank you to them. It is our appreciation to them. It is nothing like an award that we are giving. It's our debt, societies, nations, that we express today. I also want to say that these are all role models, icons, not just stars. They are North Stars. We look up to them. They give us the direction, they give us the inspiration, and we move on. And if you see what is common in them, because some of them are in education, politics, mass media, science, technology, etc., etc. But there is something common between all of them. That is courage, conviction, commitment. That is purpose, perseverance, and passion. The big purpose, the national purpose. They have served all of these, and these become really role models. And today, if you just see the dais, it's a very different dais. For the first time in 19 years, we are doing this. We are honoring women, basically. And that's very, very special for me. I was just talking on the way to Nainaji, because she's a great expert in this field, and I was just asking if, let us say, women's participation was full in the national development, how much would have been the increase in GDP of this country? You know, they're contributing to growth and so on. But I think there is a more important point that I just want to highlight. I remember in 1998, I got the JRD Tata Corporate Leadership Award at the hands of, at that time, the Vice President, Krishna Kumarji. And this award was given by All India Institute of Management Association, AIMA. And he said something very, very interesting, since we are giving an award today also for management. You know, his sentence was, mother is the best manager nature has created. And I will read out to you what he said. You will give a bigger applause after you hear what I'm saying. He said, the best symbol of female values that has been created by nature is in the form of mother. Mother is creativity and innovation personified in solving human problems in the family. She presents excellence, morality, equality, not in material terms, but as a living cultural symbol practicing these values. Out of all the management experiences in business, industry, public service, and society, mother is the best manager nature has created. Mother's instinct has sustained Mother India. It is more specific than the word culture itself. The growing alienation between man and society, which modern day management practices have to contend with, may find its solution in the management practices which derives strength from the way mother manages her family in small and big ways, that is mother culture. What a profound statement. And it is as valid today as it will be for a century from now. I thought I will just recall this because in my Science Congress talk, which many of you have heard in year 2000, the 5 points that I had made, you know, child-centered education, in human-centered development, and innovation-centered India, etc. One of them was woman-centered society. And there I had said, actually, that India of the new millennium can't walk on one leg. It can't run on one leg. It has to walk on two legs to fulfill the dreams of India that we always had. Last point, since Rahul, you talked about Bharat and India, I must say something. Remember 2019, 19 years ago, we called it Bharat Asmita Award. We did not call them India Asmita Award. You remember that? It's very interesting. Today I hear everybody talk about India at 75. I've not seen many people talk about Bharat at 75. That Bharat that resides in villages, 70%. That Bharat that resides in slums, 17%. We can't forget that Bharat. So, when we are talking about India at 100, let's talk about Bharat at 100. That's very important. And that Bharat at 100 has to be Santulit Bharat. It has to be Susanskrit Bharat. It has to be Suvidya Bharat. It has to be Samruddha Bharat. It has to be Surakshit Bharat. It has to be Swanandi Bharat. All right? So that is the dream. 2047, I will not be there. But I hope this dream will come true. And there will be a day when I can see that from up there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed for your words of wisdom. And thank you very much for showing us the path for last 19 years and keeping the very high standards of Bharat Asmita National Awards. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And with this, my friends, let us begin with the most important moment of this gathering, the very first award in the category of Bharat Asmita Acharya Shrestha Puraskar, given to the best teacher in management. And this year, this award would be conferred upon the director of Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, Professor Archana Shuklaji. I request my technical team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Professor Archana Shuklaji.
Not every teacher can be a motivator, but she is. Not every scholar can be a lifetime learner, but she is. Professor Archana Shukla is a perfect example of an ideal mentor. She teaches her students not only how to manage their careers, but how to manage their lives. Professor Archana Shukla is the Honorable Director at Indian Institute of Management, IIM, Lucknow. Professor Shukla has been a professor of organization behavior in the Human Resources Management Group at the Institute. She obtained her PhD in organization behavior from IIT Kanpur and has been more than 28 years of teaching, training, and research experience. She has been a keen researcher and has authored several books and research papers. She has been the recipient of the first chairperson of Dr. Ishwar Dayal Chair for Futuristic Issues in Behavioral Sciences for a period of 2 years from 2015 to 2017. She conducts sessions in management development programs on team building, managerial effectiveness, general management, and developing strategic mindset. Professor Archana Shukla is a true inspiration for today's young and inspiring management trainees. We warmly welcome Professor Archana Shukla.
Let's give a big round of applause, my friends, as I read the citation of honor being conferred upon Professor Dr. Archana Shuklaji, the Director of Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, Bharat Asmita Acharya Shrestha, the best teacher in management. Not every teacher can be a motivator, but she is. Not every scholar can be a lifetime learner, but she is. The Professor Archana Shukla is the perfect example of an ideal mentor. Professor Shukla is the Honorable Director of Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. She obtained her PhD in organizational behavior from IIT Kanpur and has more than 28 years in teaching and training and research experience. She has been a keen researcher and has authored several books and research papers. In recognition of Professor Shukla's contribution to management education in Bharat and in appreciation of her years in pedagogic and research experience, we at MIT World Peace University feel privileged today on 3rd February 2023 to confer upon Professor Archana Shukla Bharat Asmita Acharya Shrestha Award for the best teacher in management. I request Professor Archana Shukla Madam to say a few words in response to the award.
Good evening, all the dignitaries on the dais, and the organizers of Bharat Asmita Award. I really want to thank the organizers to choose me for the Shresht Acharya Award. I see in the audience some of the teachers, some of the students, and I see this is a wonderful opportunity for myself to reiterate some of the ideas which I carry with me all through in my journey as an academician, and I think I must express them today. Very importantly, I heard a sentiment that Bharat and India, definitely we all are for Bharat. Asmita is associated with the word Bharat. We live Bharat, breathe Bharat, we think Bharat, we dream Bharat. And with this, I think all of us have our own contributions in making that Bharat as a great Bharat, Samriddh Bharat, Surakshit Bharat. In any form we want to remember our country, our heart goes out there. You know, we cannot be without Bharat. So I am all for Bharat, 100% for Bharat. Secondly, I just thought of that we all take pride in saying that we are the young India, young Bharat, right? So if we are talking about more than 70% or more than whatever 60% are coming as a young India, which is growing India, and we see glimpses there, a very peculiar trend that most of our lives are being run on an autopilot mode. And we are just running a rat race or a mad race, chasing one after the other. We do not know where are we going. Most of the youngsters, if you ask any of them, that what are you here for? What do you want to achieve in life? What is your mission? What is your purpose? I think more than 80% will not be able to answer because that question has never been asked, neither by themselves nor by the system itself. I think we are here with purpose. If we forget the purpose, then life is nothing. Then we will go on chasing mindlessly. We are not even aware of where we are, what we are doing. So I believe that let us gear up. Rather than leaving our life to run in an autopilot mode, let's take control of our life. And how do we take control of our life? Number one, when I say autopilot, some of you must be wondering that how is it autopilot, because I am eating, I am running, I am sitting, I am traveling, I am studying, I am writing exam. I'm not talking about that. That's the bundle of activities we all are here for and we are doing it, right? But then, are we mindful that what are we doing and what are we creating? So all of us look for fulfillment of the purpose and impact factor which all of us have to create in our own capacities. So if you see, we are so much in tune with gadgets today. Even when we are sitting here, our mind is into gadgets and we are scrolling, right? We want to still see that what WhatsApp is there and what mail is there and what, look at there, so even here, it is very difficult for us to be present 100% in the event itself. So what to talk about, every moment are we present in the, and enjoying and making it happen to the fullest. So that is what I was talking about for my all youngsters, that we need to take control of our own choices. We should become empowered human beings to keep, decisions under our control and look forward to what impact we want to create, whether we are a student, whether we are a teacher. Impact is something which all the time will remind you that where and how much effort one has to create. And that's when all of us will start become as a catalyst, as a change agent, and we will do our meaningful contribution in making that dream happen, as Rahulji was talking about. And Dr. Mashilkar also talked about Bharat, Sapno ka Bharat, Hamara Bharat. So with this, I think all the teachers also have a very, very major responsibility. And I would definitely would want them that we are dealing with the modern age students, whether it is a management institution or whether it is a electronic or engineering or be medicine or be any field. So students are not here wanting to come to the class only if the teacher is providing them information, because these kids are kids of information age. They are coming to the class only when a teacher is able to add value. If the teacher can be substituted by Google or any other medium, because information is easily available today, it is available on your fingertips, then students are not happy in the class. Students are only happy in the class when students are finding a great meaning in the class which only teacher can add. And that's when teacher is a value creator. Teacher is a creation of a new knowledge in the class. Teacher is also to give them the perspective. Teacher is there to give them a sense of purpose. Teacher is the one who would be traveling along with them as an enabler. Teacher is the one who will come in handy when they are in pessimistic mood, they do not get the success and experience success. Possibly there is someone who can back you up and provide you courage again to come back with the same power, same passion, and achieve your mission. So teacher is all and all through with you everywhere. Dr. Mashirkar talks about mother as a bigger teacher. I will say that teacher journey goes on. After mother, the first teacher happens to be the mother in the family, but then after that, all teachers are our hand holding, right? So we look forward to the teachers with the great expectation and great sense of contribution towards society and create that impact together with the students. So I only would try to give this message which I very strongly profess, and I'm really humbled to receive this award. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much for your words, and thank you very much for being here today on this auspicious occasion. My friends, now it's time when we move forward with the second category of Bharat Asmita Rashtriya Puraskar, Bharat Asmita Jan Pratinidhi Shreshtha Award, the best exponent of parliamentary practices. And this year, the award is being conferred on the Honorable Member of Parliament Lok Sabha from BJD, Aska, Odisha, Madam Pramila Bisoiji. Before I go any further, I would like to request my technical team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Srimati Pramila Bisoiji.
With the pallu of a Sambalpuri sari draped over her head, a vibrant line of sindoor parting her hair, and the traditional dual nose pins gleaming on her face, 73-year-old Srimati Pramila Bisoi stands out in the line of MPs elected from Odisha. Srimati Pramila Bisoi is the current Member of Parliament in the Lok Sabha from Aska and hails from Chirmaria village of Aska block in Ganjam district, Odisha. She is also the secretary of the Women's SHG collective in Aska block and has around 700 SHGs. It is her grassroots involvement and knowledge of ground realities that have paved the way for a political win. Srimati Bisoi was the face of BJD's flagship mission Shakti program for women. Started in 2001, the scheme is reported to have benefited around 70 lakh women from more than 6 lakh women's SHGs in the state. She was the major force behind the villagers' peacock protection movement at Pakidi Hills near Aska, for which she was honored with the Odisha government's Prakriti Mitra and Prakriti Bandhu Award and the Royal Bank of Scotland's group's Earth Heroes Award for 2019. Since the past 5 decades, she has also been assisting with childbirth and postnatal care in her village. And it's this service that earned her the moniker Parima. We warmly welcome Srimati Pramila Bisoi.
It is indeed our honor and privilege to confer upon the Bharat Asmita Janapratinidhi Shrestha Award. My friends, the award which is being conferred is conferred with shawl, the citation of honor, trophy, and the award money of rupees 1,25,000 rupees. Srimati Pramila Bisoi is the current member of parliament in Lok Sabha from Aska and hails from Charmaria village of Aska block in Ganjam district, Odisha. She is also the secretary of Women's SHG collection with Aska block and has around 700 self-help groups. In her grassroots involvement and knowledge of ground realities that have paved her way for a political win. In recognition of Madam Bishnoi's contribution in politics, Bharat, and appreciation of her adventures as women empowerment, we at MIT WPU feel privileged today on 3rd of February 2023 to confer upon Madam Pramila Bisoiji the Bharat Asmita Janapratinidhi Shrestha Puraskar.
सम्मानित अतिथि एवं मान्यगण व्यक्ति मोर प्रिय भारतीय भाई और भौणी माने मु आज यही कार्यक्रम रे उपस्थित थिबारु निजकु भाग्यवान मने करुछि। भारत अशिक्षा जनप्रतिनिधि श्रेष्ठ पुरस्कार भावरे मोर चयन विषय रे जानी मु बहुत खुशी और कृतज्ञ। आपण समस्ते जानती जे मु अल्प पाठ पढ़िबा सहित एक ग्रामीण अंचल आसी मोर जीवनर शेष भागरे मु मो देश भारतर सर्वोच्च गणतंत्रर मंदिर को निर्वाचित होई आसी। मु मो अंचल रे महिला सशक्तिकरण शिशु सुरक्षा वृक्षरोपण परिवेश सुरक्षा आदि उपरे काम करिछि। मोते देश पाई किछि करिबाकु मो अंचलर अंचलवासी और आम दलर सभापति मान्यवर मुख्यमंत्री श्रीजुक्त नवीन पट्टनायक सांसद को पठाइछंती। गोटे कथा मो पाई षष्ठ जे टंका सबू किछि नुहे इंग्राजी हिंदी भाषा न जानी आवश्यक जानिमा आवश्यक नुहे। मनरे लोकंक पाई किछि भल काम करिबा इच्छा आवश्यकता जदि एहा होई नथांता मु एठारे आपणक सामान्य रे ठिया होई नथांती। शेषरे मु एही पुरस्कार कार्यर आयोजन को मोर कृतज्ञता जणाइबाकु चाहे। मु आपणकु स्वास्थ्य कामना शांति सफल जीवन पाई आम समस्त को आशीर्वाद करने प्रभु जगन्नाथ को प्रार्थना करुछि। जय जगन्नाथ वंदे उत्कल जननी।
We are fortunate to have Srimati Pramila Bisoi as winner of this year's award. She comes from the rural background, very grassroots rural background. Whole of her life she has contributed in taking care of children and also singing songs from village to village, organizing people together towards self-help group. As you know that in Orissa, self-help group is a big movement by the Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik ji. I would like to read out her speech in English for all of you. Esteemed guests and dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, my loving fellow Indians, brothers and sisters, I feel proud and it is a pleasure moment for me to present here on the occasion of 19th Bharat Asmita National Awards function 2023. I'm equally honored and glad to know about my selection as Bharat Asmita Jan Pratinidhi Shrestha Award. As you all know that I have come from a rural background with little primary education. In the fag end of my life, I have been elected to the highest institution of policy making of my country, India. The social revolution that I brought throughout my life to bring the social change through mobilization of women and practicing the social value of being a woman has brought me to do something for country. I have been voicing the issues of social upliftment, economic empowerment of women, and protection of girl child, eradication of child labor, overall development of agriculture, and improving basic services, which are major issues in my parliamentary constituency in the parliament. There have been lots of challenges in communication, but my fellow colleagues in the parliament have been helping me a lot in presenting these concerns before the August House. I have a strong belief and faith that if a person has good intention to bring changes in the society, this will never go unattended, even at the highest policy-making institution. In the end, I would like to convey my gratitude to the organizer of this award function. I would like to keep in record the faith and belief that my Chief Minister, Sri Naveen Patnaik, has on me to represent the voice of my state, Orissa, in the parliament. One thing is clear to me, and I would like you all to believe on that money is not everything. If it would have been the case, I would not have been here in front of you. I wish you good health and pray Lord Jagannath to bless all of you for a peaceful and successful life ahead. Jai Hind, Jai Jagannath.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. My friends, now it is indeed my honor and privilege to take this gathering forward with the third category of awards, Bharat Asmita Janajagran Shrestha Puraskar, and this year which is being conferred upon the Editor-in-Chief and co-founder of Khabar Lehriya and CEO of Chambal Media, Madam Kavita Devi Bundelkhandi ji. Before I go any further, I would like to request my technical team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Srimati Kavita Devi ji.
Srimati Kavita Devi is the editor-in-chief of Khabar Lehriya, a news website that focuses on rural news told from a feminist perspective. Started in 2002 as a Bundeli newspaper, Khabar Lehriya employs Dalit, Muslim, Adivasi, and other backward class women as reporters and editors. At one point, the paper had 8 editions in 5 languages and was sold in 8 districts of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. For 6 months after finishing her education, she began working with Mahila Dakia, a newsletter run by the same center. This was her first stint as a reporter. Working with Mahila Dakia helped her realize the importance of a local newspaper that covered and brought forth the stories of her community. With help from the Delhi-based NGO Nirantar, she began Khabar Lehriya, a women-run newspaper with the aim to cover local news that went largely unreported and neglected by mainstream media. Through Khabar Lehriya, she has brought together 30 women, especially from marginalized communities, to report on stories and reach out to around 10 million readers through multiple digital platforms. She is and will always be a great inspiration for young and aspiring journalists. We warmly welcome Srimati Kavita Devi.
It is indeed our honor and privilege to confer upon Madam Kavita Bundelkhandi, the Editor-in-Chief of and co-founder of Khabar Lehriya, Bharat Asmita Janajagran Shrestha Puraskar, with shawl, citation of honor, trophy, and a prize award money of rupees 1,25,000 rupees. As the Editor-in-Chief of Khabar Lehriya, the news website that focuses on rural news told from the feminist perspective, started in year 2002. As the Bundeli newspaper, Khabar Lehriya employs Dalit, Muslim, Adivasis, and other backward class women as the reporters and editors. Madam Kavita began working with Mahila Dakia in the newsletter run by the same center. In recognition of Srimati Kavita's contribution to the social sector in Bharat and in appreciation of her journalism, we are proud to present Bharat Asmita Janajagran Award for the best use of mass media. I request Madam Kavita Devi Bundelkhandi to kindly address the gathering. मैं मैडम से विनती करता हूं कि वे अब उनके विचार हमारे समक्ष रखें.
मैं हिंदी में बात करूंगी। तो इसलिए क्योंकि सारे जितने भी सम्मानित सबसे पहले सम्मानित जितने भी लोग यहाँ पर बैठे हैं, मैं सबको प्रणाम करती हूँ। और यहाँ पर जितने भी स्टूडेंट हैं, छात्र हैं, अभिभावक हैं, लोग आए हैं, सबको मेरी तरफ से नमस्कार। मेरा नाम कविता बुंदेलखंडी है। कविता देवी ये मेरे रिकॉर्ड का नाम है और मुझे लग रहा था कि मैं यहाँ पर बताऊँ, और मैंने सरनेम बाद में अपना चेंज किया है। सबसे पहले तो मैं शुक्रिया बोलना चाहूँगी भारत अस्मिता अवार्ड के लिए, खबर लहरिया की तरफ से, चंबल मीडिया की तरफ से, जो मेरा नाम यहाँ पर चुना गया है। रूरल एरिया से हमको पहचाना गया है कि हम भी इस लायक हैं, इस अवार्ड को ले सकते हैं। तो बहुत बहुत आभार राहुल सर और MIT का सारे लोगों का मैं व्यक्त करना चाहती हूँ। मैं बहुत गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रही हूँ यहाँ पर आकर के, इतने बड़े मंच पर आकर के। मैं बताना चाहती हूँ कि मैं इतनी हाई फाई फैमिली से नहीं हूँ, मेरी पढ़ाई भी इतनी हाई फाई नहीं है, और मैं एक छोटे से गांव की रहने वाली हूँ। मेरे मम्मी पापा किसान थे, हम 4 बहन और मेरे 2 भाई हैं। उस ज़माने में लड़कियों को पढ़ाना अच्छा नहीं माना जाता था। ये लगता था कि लड़कियों का पढ़ने का अधिकार नहीं है। और मेरी शादी भी 12 साल की उम्र में हो गई, और जैसे भी कि गृहस्थ जीवन जीना है, खेती का काम करना है, बच्चे पालना है, तो उस सब में मैं लग गई। तो मेरी पढ़ाई बहुत संघर्ष भरी रही है। मैंने बड़ी उम्र में पढ़ाई लिखाई सीखा है। महिला समाख्या का एक प्रोग्राम चलता था, उसमें मैंने गांव के जो सेंटर चलते थे वहाँ पर पढ़ी, और उसके बाद फिर मैंने कंटिन्यू अपनी पढ़ाई को जारी रखा। हालांकि बहुत संघर्ष रहा है, हर स्तर पर मुझे, हर कक्षा में मुझे लड़ाई लेना पड़ी, समाज की, परिवार की, सब लोगों की। तो बहुत संघर्ष के बाद यहाँ पर आई हूँ। मैं बस थोड़ा सा बताना चाहूँगी, क्योंकि यहाँ पे छोटी सी जो क्लिप दिखाई गई है, तो मैं अभी खबर लहरिया की एडिटर इन चीफ हूँ और खबर लहरिया की को-फाउंडर हूँ। हमारे कंपनी का नाम है चंबल मीडिया। तो चंबल मीडिया के तहत 2 आर्टिकल निकाले जाते हैं, चंबल अकादमी और खबर लहरिया। सबसे खुशी की बात मुझे ये है, बताते हुए मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है कि जिस तरह से ग्राउंड एरिया से मैं निकल करके आज यहाँ आप लोगों के सामने खड़ी हूँ। एक टाइम पे मैं बोल नहीं पाती थी, मेरे हाथ पैर कांपते थे, मेरे शब्द लड़खड़ा जाते थे, और आज हिम्मत और हौसला खबर लहरिया ने मुझे दिया है। तो खबर लहरिया में टोटल ऑल महिलाएं हैं जो रिपोर्टिंग का काम करती हैं। तो गांव की, दलित, आदिवासी, मुस्लिम, हाशिए पर रहने वाली समुदाय की, हर जाति की महिलाएं, हर धर्म की महिलाओं को खबर लहरिया ने खड़ा किया है। हमारा मानना था कि पत्रकारिता का जो क्षेत्र है ये दुनिया का सर्वश्रेष्ठ एक क्षेत्र है, जहाँ पर महिलाओं की जगह नहीं है। महिलाएं इस क्षेत्र में नहीं हैं, अगर हैं तो मुंबई जैसे शहरों में, दिल्ली जैसे शहरों में, या बड़े घराने की औरतें हैं जो ज़्यादा पढ़ी लिखी हैं, जो इंग्लिश बोलती हैं। तो हमें लगा कि इस क्षेत्र में औरतों का आना बहुत ज़रूरी है। और जिस क्षेत्र से हमने काम शुरू किया था, जहाँ से मैं आती हूँ, वो डाकुओं का इलाका माना जाता है। चित्रकूट में बहुत नामी ग्रामी डाकुओं ने वहाँ पर राज किया है, चाहे ददुआ, ठोकिया, बलखड़िया, बहुत सारे गैंग वहाँ पर रहे हैं, जहाँ से हमने खबर लहरिया की शुरुआत की थी ग्रामीण औरतों के साथ में। मेरा मानना है, जो मैंने कर दिखाया, कि ऐसी ऐसी महिलाएं चंबल मीडिया के टीम में भी काम कर रही हैं जो कभी स्कूल नहीं गई हैं, जिनके पास कोई डिग्री नहीं है और बेहतरीन पत्रकारिता करती हैं। जब हम खबर लहरिया को शुरू कर रहे थे तो हमें पढ़ी लिखी औरतें ना मिल रही थी, और हम गांव में जा रहे थे तो हमने महिलाओं को इकट्ठा किया, इंटरव्यू लिया, और ट्रेनिंग दे करके जब महिलाएं जज्बात के साथ में बोलती थी, गांव की मुद्दों की उनको पकड़ थी, हमें लगा क्या चाहिए, यही तो असली पकड़ है। और हमने महिलाओं को उतारा, खबर लहरिया शुरू किया। खबर लहरिया लोकल भाषा में शुरू किया, जो गांव की भाषा होती है। जैसे आप लोग यहाँ पर जो अपनी लोकल भाषा में बात करते हैं, तो हमारे यहाँ बुंदेली है, फिर बिहार गए तो बज्जिका भाषा में, फिर अवध के एरिया में गए तो उधर अवधी भाषा है। बनारस की तरफ जब हम गए तो भोजपुरी में। तो ऐसे है 20 साल का सफ़र हम पार कर चुके हैं। इतना आसान नहीं था जिस तरह से मैं बोल रही हूँ। बहुत संघर्ष रहे हैं, बहुत धमकियाँ रहे हैं, क्योंकि जब एक गांव की दलित लड़की खड़ी होती है और जब किसी उच्च वर्ग के खिलाफ में, या जो जमींदार होते हैं, जो माफिया होते हैं, जब उनके खिलाफ वो लड़की आवाज़ उठाती है तो इतना आसान नहीं होता कि समाज में खड़े होकर के बोल पाए। तो 20 साल के सफ़र में हमने बहुत कुछ सीखा। खबर लहरिया को मंथली जो अखबार था उसको हमने पाक्षिक किया, साप्ताहिक किया, अलग अलग डिस्ट्रिक्ट में गए, यूपी बिहार में गए। और फिर हमें लगा कि 20 साल का जो ज्ञान है, जो महिलाएं कर दिखाती हैं इस दुनिया में, मैंने बहुत कम देखा कि शायद और कोई कर सकता है। तो फिर हमें लगा कि और होना चाहिए, तो हमने चम्मल अकादमी की शुरुआत की है। तो चम्मल अकादमी में हम पत्रकारिता का कोर्स सिखाते हैं। जो स्टूडेंट हैं जो पत्रकारिता, रियल की पत्रकारिता करना चाहते हैं, पढ़ना चाहते हैं, हम उनको उस कोर्स के जरिए बताते हैं कि रियल पत्रकारिता आपको कैसे करनी चाहिए। आपको असली पत्रकारिता करनी है तो आपको गांव में जाना पड़ेगा। जो गांव के मुद्दे हैं जो रियल में आपको देखने को नहीं मिलते हैं, जल जंगल जमीन, आदिवासियों के मुद्दे, दलितों के मुद्दे, गांव के पानी बिजली की समस्या, मनरेगा की समस्या, महिलाओं के मुद्दे, इन मुद्दों को कैसे आपको कवरेज करना है, रियल में मुद्दे क्या होते हैं, सच्ची पत्रकारिता क्या होती है, कैसे आपको पत्रकारिता करना चाहिए। मैं बहुत बड़े बड़े यूनिवर्सिटी में गई हूँ और बात करी हूँ जहाँ पर मुझे लगता है कि ये जानने की ज़रूरत है। तो मोबाइल जर्नलिज्म का कोर्स अजय चम्मल अकादमी के तरह हम देते हैं। हमारे यहाँ बड़े बड़े यूनिवर्सिटी के लोग आते हैं देखने के लिए ज़मीनी पत्रकारिता क्या है, पत्रकार क्या होता है, तो वो हम करते हैं। तो मैं कोई मैं तैयारी करके नहीं आई हूँ, जो मेरा काम है उस तरह से मैं यहाँ पे अपने काम को प्रेजेंट कर रही हूँ, प्रस्तुत कर रही हूँ। और बहुत मुझे अच्छा महसूस हो रहा है जब मैं इस मंच तक आती हूँ। तो थैंक यू सबको। और आप खबर लहरिया को आप देख सकते हैं, फॉलो कर सकते हैं, हमारा इंस्टाग्राम पेज यूट्यूब में है। और जो भी हमारे साथ में जुड़ना चाहते हैं तो प्लीज़ ज़रूर से जुड़िए। थैंक यू सबको।
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much for your words. Thank you very much for sharing your work and commitment with us. And we have a special announcement on behalf of MIT World Peace University by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.M. Chitnis sir. I request him to kindly share the same with us.
Indeed pleasure to welcome Honorable Nandita Das Madam. On behalf of MIT World Peace University, on behalf of Dr. Karad sir, on behalf of Dr. Rahul Karad sir, on behalf of School of Journalism and Media of MIT World Peace University, on behalf of all the faculty, Dean Dheeraj Singh, it gives me pleasure to announce that Bharat Asmita Award has certain amount of 1,25,000, which is accepted by Madam Kavita Devi, and we are honored. But to the Chambal media, of which the vertical is Khabar Lahiriya, we are immensely happy to share that another amount of 2,50,000 rupees, Kavita Devi, from us will be offered to you. Please accept it. आपकी चंबल मीडिया को हम 2.5 लाख रुपया एडिशनल दे रहे हैं, उसका स्वीकार कीजिएगा। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing that important initiative from MIT World Peace University with us. And my friends, it's now time when we move forward with the next category of awards, Bharat Asmita Janajagran Shresht, for the best use of acting and direction. And this year, it is being conferred upon the eminent actor, director, writer, producer, and social advocate, Srimati Nandita Das ji. I request my technical team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Madam Nandita Das.
She calls herself a hesitant actor and filmmaker. Her filmography certainly attests to that claim. There were years in which she did not act in a single film, and others in which she acted in 5. She made films only when she felt compelled to do the stories. Today, she is certainly one of the best storytellers in Indian cinema. Ms. Nandita Das has appeared in films like Fire, 1947 Earth, Bhavandar, Kambli, and Before the Rains. Her directorial debut, Firak, premiered at the Toronto Film Festival and traveled to more than 50 festivals, including winning more than 20 awards. Her second film as a director was Manto. Ms. Nandita Das has acted in more than 40 feature films in 10 different languages. Her directorial debut in 2008 was Firak that brought her many accolades and appreciation both in India and abroad. She was conferred the Knight of the Order of Arts and Letters by the French government. Nandita was the chairperson of the Children's Film Society. Manto, her second directorial film, premiered in 2018 at the Cannes Film Festival. Based on the life of 20th century Indo-Pakistani short story writer Saadat Hasan Manto, the film was screened at Cannes Film Festival in the Un Certain Regard section. Her first book, Manto and I, chronicles her 6-year-long journey of making the film. She wrote, directed, produced, and acted in a short film called Listen to Her, that sheds light on the increase in domestic violence and overburden of work that women had been facing during the lockdown. Her third directorial venture, Zwigato, explores the life of a food delivery rider and his family. It is also produced by her company, Nandita Das Initiatives, in collaboration with Applause Entertainment. Her passionate sensibilities reflect in the cinema, and her cinema becomes the mirror of her passion. We warmly welcome Ms. Nandita Das.
Let us put our hands together as we confer the 19th Bharat Asmita National Award on Madam Nandita Das, the eminent actor, director, writer, producer, and social advocate. Bharat Asmita Janajagran Shresht, the best use of acting and direction. The citation of honor, trophy, and a prize money of rupees 1,25,000 being conferred on Madam Nandita Das in recognition of her contribution to the film industry in Bharat and in appreciation of her acting, directorial ventures. We at MIT World Peace University, Pune feel privileged today on 3rd February 2023 to confer upon Madam Nandita Das the Bharat Asmita Janajagran Shresht Award for the best use of acting and direction. I request Madam Nandita Das to say a few words in response to this award.
Good afternoon, everybody. Namaskar to everyone here and the eminent people on the dais. You know, awards are a strange thing because I've also been on jury and I've always said that it's so subjective. You have to be at the right time, at the right place. But I have to say that there are some awards that are special because I know there is no nepotism there, there is no corruption there, there's subjectivity everywhere. But there are some awards that mean to you because you know people that you respect and admire have recognized, have validated your choices. And the choices I've made have been easy for me, but I've had to explain in the last 25 years many times why I've made these choices. People keep asking, आप commercial picture क्यों नहीं करती हैं? तो आपका जो social work है वो भी ज़्यादा चलेगा, कम पैसे भी बनाइए, ज़्यादा famous हो जाएंगी. You know, so these kind of questions have been thrown at me many a times. But I think the greatest freedom is to be able to do what you really want to do, what your heart tells you, what your conviction tells you. Sometimes people say, how do you get the courage to speak up or do films like this? And I always say that you don't seek courage. You just, if you have strong convictions, I think courage follows. And that is what I have believed in and I've done. So for me, this award is a validation, it's a hug, it's a little pat on the shoulder. It's something special that sort of reminds me that I don't need to worry, that you know there are people who believe that these choices are all right. So thank you very much, it means a lot to me, and to get it from Dr. Mashilkar is especially special. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, madam. My friends, it is indeed our privilege that we have such personalities with us on the occasion of 19th Bharat Asmita National Awards. And next, I'm going to invite the person in the next category, Bharat Asmita Vigyan Tantragyan Shresht Puraskar, the best use of science and technology through innovation, being conferred on the rocket women, the senior scientist of Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, Dr. Ritu Karidhalji, the person, yes, definitely she deserves a big round of applause, whose work motivated, inspired the role of Vidya Balan. I'm sure you must have seen the movie Mission Mangal, and it is indeed our honor and privilege to have her today here. I request my technical team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Dr. Ritu Karidhalji.
Dr. Ritu Karidhal is a senior scientist in the Indian Space Research Organization with a key role in realizing the Mars Orbiter mission, which created history of being the first mission to reach Mars in its first attempt. Being the project manager and deputy operations director for MOM, she and her team were responsible for executing the critical operations of leaving Earth and capturing Mars, which would be realized flawlessly. Dr. Ritu Karidhal has published more than 20 papers both in international and national publications. She has been the recipient of multiple awards, including Young Scientist Award in 2007 by Shri Abdul Kalam, the then President of India, ISRO Team Award for MOM in 2015, ASI Team Award, Women Achievers in Aerospace 2017 by the Society of Indian Aerospace Technologies and Industries, Birla Sun Achievement Award by the Bank of Baroda. Presently, Dr. Ritu Karidhal is working on ISRO's moon landing mission, that is the Chandrayaan-2. We warmly welcome Dr. Ritu Karidhal.
Let's give a big round of applause to Madam Ritu Karidhalji, the rocket woman, senior scientist of Indian Space Research Organization, with a key role in realizing the Mars Orbiter mission, which created history in being the first mission to reach Mars in its first attempt. Being the project manager and deputy operations director of MOM, she and her team were responsible for executing the critical operations of leaving Earth, capturing Mars, which could be realized flawlessly. In recognition of Dr. Karidhal's contribution to science and Bharat, and in appreciation of her innovative endeavors of space exploration, we at MIT World Peace University, Pune, feel privileged today on 3rd of February 2023 to confer upon Dr. Ritu Karidhal Bharat Asmita Vigyan Tantragyan Shresht Award for the best use of science and technology through innovation. I request Dr. Ritu Karidhalji to kindly address the gathering.
Good evening to all. Namaskar, sabko. Respected and honorable founder of MIT, executive president, eminent scientist, Professor Mashelkar, all distinguished guests, the faculty members, the august gathering, and my dear students. First and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to MIT for bestowing upon me this huge honor. Really humbled and grateful for this award. I should say, I indeed very delighted to know the achievements and vastness of MIT. I was just going through the achievements of MIT across so many fields, you know, science, arts, governance, films, facilitating the growth of brilliant minds, a true service they are giving towards the bright future of our nation. Thank you very much. So I am here. I belong to the field of space science, and with so many students here also, and all the august gathering, maybe I feel that it's like I can share a few of the challenging moments of our journey from Earth to Mars. So should I say something on those challenging moments? Yes, thank you. Yeah, you know, we know that for the space science, the history goes right back to 1960s under the vision of our great physicist, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, whose vision was to use the space science to solve the real problems of man and society. And then we had our first satellite, Aryabhatta, in 1975. Subsequently, we made much more sophisticated rockets and satellites. And then, I remember in those my childhood days when I was a student, I used to collect, you know, a lot of, at that time we were not having this online and Google and all those things, the newspapers, even the minutest activities of ISRO or NASA. So collecting those, cutting those news articles, keeping it in my archive was one of my hobbies. And then a day I got intimation that I have to join, got selected and have to join one of the leading centers of ISRO in Bangalore. 25 years ago, sending their daughter so far, it was not an easy decision for my parents at that time. The distance at that time was not just measured in kilometers, it's like 2,000 kilometers odd. It was distance measured in number of days, you know. It used to take 2.5 days. Instead of 2,000 kilometers, it was 2.5 days it used to take. Now we just get in the flight and come, and it's just 2.5 hours. And that time, taking this decision, allowing me to go to unknown far place, I really thank my parents, who have shown that utmost confidence and allowed me to go so far. This is what I wanted to say to all parents. What is more important? The best inspiration for a student, for a child, is the motivation or the encouragement what the parents give, and also what the teachers give. Yes, I joined ISRO. I got many opportunities to work for many prestigious missions, but then mission to work for Mars orbiter mission, it was a very challenging. Why? Because this was the first time we had this mission. We did not have any heritage of going to interplanetary. What does interplanetary means? You know, we all belong to Earth, but now we had to go beyond Earth's gravity, beyond Earth's regime. We had to go, and we were not knowing. You know, we did not have any heritage of what the technology, how to go, what are the trajectory to follow. But then, and what the most important, the most challenging part, with all that, we had to realize this mission in just short time of 18 months. You know, so for any interplanetary mission, why it's also more important, just want to give one example if the time permits. See, as the distance increases, for any signal, when you have to send something in the interplanetary area or beyond the Earth regime, as the distance increases, the to and fro time also increases. You know, presently what we do, if we have to switch on a bulb, we will just switch on a button and the bulb will come on. But imagine that when you have to give some signal, it will take 20 minutes of time to reach for the satellite, to reach that signal, and then 20 more minutes time to understand whether really at that distance the bulb has come on or not. Like a 40 minutes huge time delay. What it meant? It meant that we had to build a system with utmost autonomy. What autonomy means? A system which is capable of doing self-diagnostics. You know, it is also capable of finding its own problems without depending upon any human intervention. And then also, after finding, it should be able to correct itself. It should be able to execute all the instructions with highest precision, because any minutest error will fully jeopardize the mission. And at that time, out of around some 51 missions, only 21 missions were successful. Success rate was less than 50%. Then we had taken this task, and being the project manager with my team, we used to have a lot of brainstorming sessions with all engineers of all fields, that is electronics, electrical, mechanical, and then hours together we used to do those brainstorming, and then the full draft of autonomy was made. Thousands of lines of codes were written, they were tested, they were reviewed and implemented. Everything was done in just mere 10 months of time. It was something very much seemed to be impossible, but we could achieve it. We could achieve it because we worked as a full cohesive team who have given, each and every one was a part of that higher goal. They worked for it, and we could achieve that. Yes, after we had a very successful liftoff, the satellite was in orbit, the Mars Orbiter mission, and then after rotating few rounds of Earth, taking rounds of Earth, we had to travel a huge distance of 600 millions of kilometers. And in those while traveling that distance, we had to ensure that satellite reaches the Mars without any problem. So that was really a feat achieved at that time, because what was most important for any interplanetary mission is when you go out of Earth, the direction where you leave, the cruise direction, what you achieve, it demanded some 99% of performance. And that was the performance which could be achieved the first time in any ISRO mission for any Mars mission. And then the duration of leaving the Earth and then going towards Mars, 10 months of time. We reached very near to Mars, say 500 kilometers away we were there. But then reaching near to Mars is not achieving the project or mission. We had to rotate around Mars. It means we had to do a very important activity or a maneuver. You have to push the satellite into the gravity well of Mars. It's called Mars orbit insertion. It is one-time event. If you miss it, you lose it. There is no second chance. And being the Deputy Operations Director, with my team was responsible to ensure that all those activities, all those operations are taken place as per set instructions. The D-Day, I still remember, whenever I remember, it's all very much become so attached to that. So on that day, yes, first signal we received, and we were knowing, yes, the on-board computers are working fine. So everything was going as per plan. 21 minutes later, we saw the engine was firing. That was the important activity, because the engine has to fire after sleeping for 10 months of time. It had to fire. It fired as expected. And yes, after 4 minutes, what happened? The data was not there. Data was lost. What happened? Actually, the satellite has gone behind the planet Mars, from where no data can reach Earth. So those 26 minutes of complete silence, all our eyes were glued to the screen, waiting for the data to come back. And I remember at 8 a.m. around, the history was made. The Mars Orbiter mission, the Mangalyaan, achieved the Martian orbit. This was first of its kind, because this was the first mission which could reach Mars, attain success in its first attempt. It was the mission which realized in shortest time of 18 months, and very low cost project. And one most important thing, the women and the men scientists, the participation of women and men were equal. They worked together to achieve this feat. And yes, I know this lot of huge data we have got from Mangalyaan, the data analysis and all that is going on, and we'll be able to know more. Already a lot of activities, a lot of papers and a lot of discoveries have happened. And then I feel the most important part which this type of missions are doing is, inspiring the young students, every Indian, creating an awe and fervor towards science, and making us realize the inherent power of Indians to reach a far planet, and showing to the world we are second to none. Thank you. And thank you once more for giving me this honor. I am really privileged. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause once again. to the Rocket Women of India. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for your presence here today. My friends, now it's time when we move to the next category of award, Bharat Asmita Special Jeevan Gaurav Puraskar, the Lifetime Achievement Award, being conferred this year on Padma Shri, Chairman of Rochester, India, Senior Advisor of Advent Private Equity, Non-Executive Director on the boards of global and Indian companies, and former President of FICCI, and former Chairman of HSBC, Madam Naina Lal Kidwaiji. Before I invite her to accept the award, I request my technical team to kindly relay a small film.
Srimati Naina Lal Kidwai is the former president of the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Currently, she is serving as the chairman of Max Financial Services Limited, along with serving as the chairman of HSBC Asset Management India Private Limited and HSBC Invest Direct India Limited. She is on the governing board of NCAER, Audit Advisory Board of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, and on the National Executive Committee of the CII and FICCI. She serves as a Group General Manager of HSBC Holdings PLC since October 2006. She also served as the Chief Executive Officer of HSBC India of HSBC Holdings PLC since 5th May 2006. For her praiseworthy work, Srimati Kidwai has also secured many accolades. Kidwai has secured the Distinguished Padma Shri Award for her contributions in the area of trade and industry. She has also received All Ladies Lee's Delhi Women of the Decade Achievers Award 2013 for excellence in banking, and has been repeatedly ranked in the Fortune Global list of top women in business. We warmly welcome Srimati Naina Lal Kidwai.
It is indeed our honor to read the citation of honor conferred upon Madam Naina Lal Kidwaiji, the Chairman of Rothschild India, Senior Advisor of Advent Private Equity and former President of FICCI. For her path-breaking national contributions, President of India honored her with Padma Shri. She has repeatedly ranked in the Fortune Global list of top women in business and has been listed by the Times magazine as one of their 15 global influencers of year 2002. Madam Kidwai works for the cause which are closer to her heart: environment, sanitation, access to water, and women's empowerment to her few. In recognition of Madam Kidwai's contribution to society, trade and industry in Bharat, and in appreciation of her business and managerial acumen, we at MIT World Peace University, Pune, feel privileged today, on 3rd of February 2023, to confer upon Madam Naina Lal Kidwai Bharat Asmita Special Jeevan Gaurav Award for her lifetime contribution to our nation. I now request Madam Naina Lal Kidwaiji to kindly address the gathering.
That's great. Honorable dignitaries and awardees on the dais, I am indeed humbled and overwhelmed to be here in your midst today to receive this award. An award that is very special. It's special because the essence of what we have heard today from the other awardees makes me so proud to belong to this amazing group of women, given the achievements that they have achieved. It makes me wonder why I am here. So one big hand to all of you again. Dr. Mashelkar touched on the trait of courage in his opening speech. Nandita mentioned how courage has guided her in her choices. And indeed, everyone here on the dais today who has spoken, Kavita, Ritu, Archana, Pramilaji, have all defined what I believe is courageous leadership. So, what is courageous leadership? And I would like to believe that every one of you out there is a leader in your own right. And the difference between being a leader and a courageous leader
has to be the purpose to succeed beyond just work. I believe it comes with the desire to serve, to do the right thing, to stand up for the right thing. It's interesting how in one's journey, one finds these other causes. I spent 35 years in the world of banking, but about halfway through my career, and while in banking, I served on many committees, building institutions in the country, looking at ways to strengthen the institutions that represented regulation in particular in fields in which I worked. However, mid-career, I found the space of water and sanitation, and you would wonder why as a banker I moved into toilets and all kinds of shitty things, but it was a calling. And in this field, Dr. Mashelkar has been such a strong guiding hand. He has headed our juries where we give out awards. He has guided me in the work of the NGO my late husband and I founded, which works in this space. And then again, in areas to do with women empowerment and microfinance and livelihood, this was a little more connected to my work in banking, but through my work in aiding microfinance institutions, the brilliant work that Pramila ji does, and we have this as a movement in the country, enabled me to understand a lot more beyond what I was doing, but also to help in terms of directing some of that funding in the right space. So what I'm really saying here is that no matter what we do, we can touch many lives in many ways by doing what we do well, but also by having that lateral vision to look at the areas that we can enter and address with the skills we have. And I had little knowledge of these spaces, but because of the courage and the desire to do something which mattered beyond my work. I think the second area that defines courageous leadership is humanity and the EQ, you know, the emotional quotient that enables us to connect with people. And I think in this electronic era, I think many have mentioned it from the dais today, the ability to continue that human contact. And I think Archana, Professor Archana Shukla was just so right in reminding us about how important it is to connect, to learn, to listen, and not be absorbed in what we want to see in terms of the next WhatsApp. Collaboration, team play, no better example of that than our Mars mission. She talked about how they stood equally, men and women. They stood as a team and they survived as a team over those months and the tension of getting that end objective. We are never in a position to do everything ourselves. We are only as good as the team we build around us, the team we have around us. And then as a team, to play to win. Now this becomes important because it's not about killing your competition, but rather to continue to better oneself. You compete against yourself, you play to win by improving yourself. And you know that every battle is first won in your mind, that desire to win. And you don't lose a game you played if your team couldn't play with you. And you step in to do the heavy lifting. It's not just left to others to take the knocks. And that you could win the game with any team you had. So it's not about complaining and sacking people. It is about finding the true potential in everyone around us. And that as a captain, as a leader, each player raised his or her game beyond their own limitations. So that we have to rise beyond that glass ceiling we think we have or see. But in fact, when you bump up against that glass ceiling, you find that it wasn't there at all. You can actually go right through it and it was really more in your own mind. Now, success is not a life free of pitfalls and free of falls. Success is about learning to walk over those mistakes. We celebrated our successes today, but believe me, every one of us could have stood here for hours telling you about the failures that we encountered. And it is the ability to learn from these failures and to rise above these failures to move ahead. And I found a lovely way of putting it, which is the law of wasted effort. Do you know, and I will draw on my love of nature and things in the wild to tell you this, but do you know that lions only succeed in a quarter of their hunting attempts, which means they fail 75% of the time. Imagine if they stopped because they failed. But they know they have to keep hunting to feed themselves and their young. They don't despair in their pursuit. The main reason for this is not just hunger, as some might think, but it's also the understanding of the law of wasted efforts. This has been instinctively built into animals. It's a law in which nature is governed. It seems to be something which we as human beings forget because we punish failure. We revel in others' failure rather than see it as a stepping stone to success. Half of the eggs of fishes are eaten. Half of the baby bears die before puberty. Most of the world's rain falls in oceans. Most of the seeds of trees are eaten by birds. And yet they survive. So scientists have found that animals, trees, other forces of nature are more receptive to the law of wasted effort than we are. So only humans think that the lack of success in a few attempts is failure. So I say this with all respect to the teachers amongst you, the parents amongst you, and to each one of us who feels down and depressed when we don't get where we want. Because at the end of the day, it is about failing, picking oneself up, and then moving ahead. I would just add that in a book I put together, 30 women CEOs, their voices, their stories, our support networks was something which came up very strongly with each one. The choice of partner, the husband. I was very fortunate to have in my late husband much more than a husband, a friend, a mentor, a guide. He showed me how to engage with the not-for-profit community because he worked in it. Parents, every one of you teachers here, you are a force in every one of your students' lives. The mother-in-law who steps in to look after the family, and yes, it's a great institution, the institution of mothers-in-law. So don't forget it. The neighbors, the friends, the colleagues, all of whom I owe a big thank you for making my journey so wonderful and indeed worthwhile. So I'll end with some borrowed words of wisdom. We are here in a temple of learning, and who other than Swami Vivekananda to draw on? And he talks of the power of association, and he explains this so beautifully. He says, a rain drops from the sky. If it is caught by clean hands, it is pure enough for drinking. If it falls in the gutter, its value drops so much that it can't be used even to wash your feet. If it falls on a hot surface, it evaporates. If it falls on a leaf, it shines like a pearl. And finally, if it falls in an oyster, it becomes a pearl. So, if existence and worth depends on whom and what it is associated with, let us be associated with people who are good at heart, who help us experience our inner transformation. And can we be the medium that helps that drop of water become a pearl? So with that, our journeys continue, and I hope that for every one of you here, we will be here celebrating your new and other successes every decade. And thank you all for being here today.
Thank you very much, Madam Naina Lal Kidwai-ji. Beautiful words. Thank you very much. And now I think I can take this moment for capturing this moment in our memory. I request all the awardees to kindly come forward with all the dignitaries on the dais so that we can capture this moment in the form of a memorable photograph. What a beautiful moment. Let's give a big round of applause to all the awardees of Bharat Asmita Rashtriya Puraskar. My friends, Bharat Asmita National Awards are created to honor the personalities who dedicated their lives for the betterment of our nation, Bharat. Their work, their commitment in their respective areas would stand as a lighthouse for others to find their way forward. In line with the motive behind the Bharat Asmita National Awards, Shri Rahul Karar has also been trying tirelessly for last 2 decades to strengthen the democratic fabric of our nation through various initiatives like Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, National Women's Parliament, National Sarpanch Sansad, and many more. But it was observed that there is a serious need to establish coordination among the states of our nation. It has taken him to think that the challenges of our country would not be solved unless we all sit together and all the lawmakers of our country come together and brainstorm to solve these problems. And hence, our country has now taken up the challenge of bringing together the MLAs and MLCs of all the states and union territories of our country and brainstorm in a very, very historic moment called National Legislators Conference Bharat, in which probably the very first time in the history of independent India that the representatives, the lawmakers of every state and union territory would come together and brainstorm to solve the problems of our country. In order to understand better the concept of National Legislators Conference, I request my technical team if they can please relay a small film on the concept of National Legislators Conference.
Long years ago,
भारत विश्व के सबसे विशाल लोकतंत्र के 75 साल इन ऐतिहासिक पलों को महत्वपूर्ण बना रहा है लोकतंत्र का महाकुंभ, यानी प्रथम राष्ट्रीय विधायक सम्मेलन का भव्य आयोजन। माननीय शिवराज पाटिल जी, मनोहर जोशी जी, मीरा कुमार जी और सुमित्रा महाजन जी के कुशल मार्गदर्शन में 50 से भी ज्यादा राष्ट्रीय और क्षेत्रीय राजनीतिक दलों की सक्रिय भागीदारी भारत के राजनीतिक इतिहास में पहली बार एक स्वतंत्र और गैर राजनीतिक मंच पर एकत्रित होंगे भारत के 28 राज्यों और 8 केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों के 4000 से भी ज्यादा निर्वाचित जनप्रतिनिधि। इस 3 दिवसीय वैचारिक मंथन में होंगे 40 से भी ज्यादा समानांतर सत्र जो तय करेंगे नए भारत की सुनहरी तस्वीर, जैसे कि विधायकों के प्रदर्शन में सुधार, सुशासन के लिए नए प्रयोग, सामाजिक समावेश पर आधारित भारत का आर्थिक विकास, कैसे बने सफल और संवेदनशील जनप्रतिनिधि। क्या है राष्ट्रीय विधायक सम्मेलन? एक मंच जो विधायकों को अपने दायित्वों के निर्वहन में करेगा और अधिक सक्षम, जिससे शक्तिशाली होगा हमारा लोकतंत्र। इस मंच पर होगी जनप्रतिनिधियों के समक्ष आने वाली चुनौतियों पर चर्चा। जातिवाद, सांप्रदायिकता, भ्रष्टाचार और अपराधीकरण जैसी ज्वलंत समस्याओं पर होगा विस्तृत विचार मंथन। राष्ट्रीय विधायक सम्मेलन 2023 जो लिखेगा भारतीय राजनीति की एक नई इबारत, जहां विभिन्न राजनीतिक विचारधाराएं आपसी मतभेदों को भुलाकर करेंगी लोकतंत्र को शक्तिशाली बनाने का अमृत मंथन, जहां मिलेगी युवाओं को राजनीति में आने की प्रेरणा, जहां लिखा जाएगा सुशासन, नेतृत्व, लोकतंत्र और विश्व शांति निर्माण का एक नया अध्याय।
आजादी के बाद देश आज जहां पहुंचा है उसमें इस देश के सभी प्रधानमंत्रियों का योगदान है।
लोकतंत्र के इस महाकुंभ को अंजाम तक पहुंचाने के लिए हो चुका है आगाज। पहले पुणे और बाद में राष्ट्रीय राजधानी दिल्ली में इस कार्यक्रम के मार्गदर्शकों और सलाहकार मंडल के बीच 2 चरणों में हो चुका है विचार विमर्श, जिसमें सामूहिक सहमति से तय हुई है इस कार्यक्रम की रूपरेखा। मगर आगे बढ़ने से पहले आइए इस प्रगतिशील विचार के नील के पत्रों पर भी डाल लेते हैं एक नजर। इस विचार की पृष्ठभूमि है वर्ष 2005 में स्थापित MIT स्कूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, जो युवाओं को राजनैतिक प्रशिक्षण देने का देश का पहला संस्थान बना। इसका अगला चरण बना वर्ष 2011 में प्रारंभ भारतीय युवाओं का सबसे बड़ा वैचारिक समागम भारतीय छात्र संसद। तत्पश्चात 2017 में राष्ट्रीय महिला संसद और वर्ष 2018 में आयोजित राष्ट्रीय सरपंच संसद। पिछले 20 सालों से लोकतंत्र में आम नागरिकों की भागीदारी सुनिश्चित करने के इन दूरगामी और समर्पित प्रयासों से ही जन्मा है ये विचार। इस प्रकार भारतीय राजनीतिक पटल पर उभर रहा है एक नया वैचारिक मंच, पहला राष्ट्रीय विधायक सम्मेलन 2023। First National Legislators Conference 2023.
Let's put our hands together and give a big round of applause to the concept of National Legislators Conference. My friends, I could see that there are many students present here today in this gathering, so let me take this opportunity to share with you that only 500 motivated, spirited and enlightened, I would say, students, those who are willing to contribute to this cause, would be given an opportunity to volunteer and work for the National Legislators Conference. And we would be sharing the mechanism to select those 500 students soon. But if you have that zeal, if you have that commitment to work towards the strengthening the democratic fabric of our nation, please get ready, that because this opportunity would soon reach you. My friends, it's now time when I invite the UNESCO chairholder and the founder and the chief patron of MIRS MIT Pune and president of MIT World Peace University, creator of the World Peace Dome, the executive chairman of Bharat Asmita National Awards, revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Karar. Please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause.
मेरे भाई और बहनों, ये बड़े समाधान की एक नई दिशा देने की दिशा में लिया हुआ कदम, स्पेशली जिसे भारत अस्मिता राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार कहा गया है, आपने स्वयं देखा, लेकिन मैं धन्यवाद दूंगा डॉक्टर गुणात मशलकर सर को, राहुल को, कि पहली बार शायद 19 साल में ये जो माहौल है, और मेरी सारी बहनें यहाँ पे बैठी है, सारी 7, मैं उनका आभारी हूँ। For the first time, all these dedicated, devoted, very highly committed for the nation building, they have come on this common platform because of the concept of Mr. Mashwarkar and Rahul. It truly fills my heart with a pride and pleasure when I stand before you to say a few words on behalf of this World Peace University. मैंने जो कहा कि आनंद और समाधान इस बात का है, मैं जब देखता हूं कि हमारी श्रीमती प्रमिला बिसोई, the member of parliament coming from a very small village, श्रीमती कविता बुंदेलखंडी, बहन जी आपको विशेष धन्यवाद कि बहुत छोटे देहात से आकर ये जो आपने जीवन में कार्य किया है. And when I see नैना किड़वाही बहन, नंदिता दास, हमारी अर्चना शुक्ला and रीतू करिधाल, मैं आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ मेरी तरफ से. ये भारत अस्मिता जो नाम है, शायद चर्चा हो रही थी कि इसका मतलब क्या हो सकता है. याद सिर्फ आती है स्वामी विवेकानंद की. And especially for myself, this whole development and the mission which has been taken by our institution, when it speaks of two words, one was the word which was uttered in 1893 on 11 September by your own brother Swami Vivekananda in the first Parliament of Religions, Chicago. धर्म परिषद है जहाँ पे पहली बार उच्चारण हुआ और स्वामी विवेकानंद जी ने दुनिया के सामने रखा, calling them my sisters and brothers of America and the world, to remember that union of science and religion oblique spirituality alone will help to bring harmony and peace to mankind. एक सिद्धांत की बात है, क्योंकि बोलने का सवाल नहीं. There is no unnecessarily a pride or ego, but यही भारतीय अस्मिता का लक्षण है. उन्होंने सेकंड सेंटेंस में कहा था, मैंने बोला है अनेक बार, and he had said that give me a few men with the muscles of iron and nerves of steel and I'll change the face of India, my mother India. गर्व नहीं, स्वाभिमान की बात है. स्वत्व, स्वधर्म और स्वाभिमान तीन चीजें हैं जीवन में. You are all very learned people. I don't want to elaborate much because you have heard the words of wisdom from all my sisters sitting here. I am grateful to them that they could find time and come here and see for themselves. मैं तो इन सबको कहूँगा ये कुलीन कन्या है भारत की, एक ध्यान में रखो. उसके सिवा ये होता नहीं भाई. सोचो तो सही, हमारी बुंदेलखंड की बहन हो या हमारी मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट हो या हमारी ये यहाँ बैठी है सारी बहनें, भारतीय संस्कृति, परंपरा और तत्वज्ञान है, इसका विशेष जिक्र है. पंचकन्या की बात की जाती है भारत के संस्कृति में, लेकिन आज यहाँ पे हमारी 6-7 बहनें जो बैठी हैं, मैं देख रहा हूँ उनका, मैंने थोड़ा सा बायोडाटा देखा और जब उनको सुना तो ऐसे लगा कि रियली हमारे भारतीय संस्कृति में सप्त ऋषि की बात होती है. क्या होता है ऋषि और संत, और क्या होता है संत ज्ञानेश्वर टू आइंस्टाइन का जर्नी. This institution, you know it, friends. So we've been trying to follow the great philosopher of India, Swami Vivekananda. But equally so, we have been talking always about the very words of wisdom and very scientific, logical words spoken by philosophers of Jnaneshwara, and the journey proceeds to Einstein. एक spiritually oriented scientific laboratory की बात होती है, और उसके माध्यम से हमारे मशलकर सर ने जब चॉइस किया, ये सब बहनों को बुलाने का तय हुआ, तो बड़ी खुशी की बात थी कि इस 19 साल में ये पहली बार हुआ है. तो मशालकर सर और उन सब के लिए एक बार तालियां बजाओ भाई जोर से। ये भाई बहन का नाता है, माँ बेटे का नाता तो होता ही है, सबसे पवित्र होता है। The ultimate reality, the ultimate truth, which we have been talking about on this very dome, which we have been in a position to develop. It's a spiritually oriented scientific प्रयोगशाला है ये, दुनिया को दिशा देती है, मानवता की विश्व शांति की बात करती है संस्था। संस्था के बारे में ज़्यादा मैं बताना ठीक नहीं, लेकिन हमारे जितने भाई लोग हैं उनकी मदद से अपने स्टूडेंट्स और पेरेंट्स have been responsible, and ultimately you know it friends that this institution has the fortune, ये संत ज्ञानेश्वर तुकाराम की भूमि है, ज्ञान की भूमि। बद्री विशाल माना गांव चाइना बॉर्डर पे जाके सरस्वती मंदिर बना, वो है देवभूमि। और अभी जाना है हमारे काशी बनारस, जहां प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी साहब ने, दृष्टा प्राइम मिनिस्टर, वहां बनाया काशी विश्वनाथ नॉलेज कॉरिडोर। विद्वानों की भूमि है काशी, और इसका पूरा जर्नी करने का इस संस्था का एक प्रयास है। और ऐसे मौके पर परसों निकलना है, ये हमारी बहनें अपने भाइयों को आशीर्वाद देने के लिए, शुभेच्छा देने के लिए यहाँ आई। ऐसे मुझे लगता है, मुझे बहुत इस बात की खुशी है कि ऐसे वक्त पे ये संकल्प हो रहा है देश के लिए कुछ करने का, और भारत माता को विश्व गुरु के रूप में देखने का प्रयास है। ये सारा जो भी मैंने नाम लिए, विवेकानंद हो, ज्ञानेश्वर हो, आइंस्टाइन हो, ये सिर्फ नाम लेने से नहीं होता, कुछ करने से होता है भाई। और उसके लिए डिवोशन, डेडिकेशन, ये सारे शब्द है, बट देयर हैज बी ए करेज एंड कन्विक्शन, उसके सिवा नहीं बनेगा भाई। ये कसम खानी है संकल्प करके। तो मैं हमारी बहनों को फिर से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आशीर्वाद दीजिए इस काम के लिए, और इसके माध्यम से अपन भारत का नया रूप विश्व गुरु के रूप में बनाने के लिए शायद ये मिलना है, आपका यहाँ आना है। तो मैं आपको सबको धन्यवाद देता हूँ और आप सबको प्रणाम करके मैं रुक जाता हूँ। धन्यवाद भाई साहब।
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom. My friends, with this, we are coming towards the conclusion of Bharat Asmita Rashtriya Puraskar. But before I go any further, I would like to request the Honorable Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University, Professor Dr. R.M. Chitnis, sir, to kindly propose vote of thanks.
Good evening on the dais and off the dais, gathered here in large numbers, and to the viewers who joined online. I want to inform all the awardees that few thousand people are seeing you, watching you, who are online right now, and they are the different constituents of MIT Group, which has 6+ universities and 70+ colleges. So all the faculty, staff and students are right now online watching this wonderful ceremony. On behalf of Founder President and UNESCO Chairholder of Human Rights, Democracy, Peace and Tolerance, revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, our Executive President Shri Rahul Vishwanath Karad sir, all the trustee members of MIT Group, professors, administration staff, and on behalf of all the students, it gives me immense pleasure and honor to propose vote of thanks for today's auspicious ceremony. First and foremost, we would like to thank all the winners of the 19th Bharat Asmita National Awards 23, or BANA awardees as we fondly call them. We wish you best of the best for future endeavors, and one more round of applause for all the awardees. May I request you? Friends, as shared earlier, the term Asmita denotes pride. So the awards are to celebrate the pride and glory of all the awardees who have spent their entire life for the betterment of the people in every way they can. Dr. Karad sir was about to say about the difference between who is saint and others. And saint is someone who actually does dedicate his or her life for the humanity. And that is what see in all these sisters assembled here for us. These great women on whom we confirmed the award just now have made significant contributions of much larger social relevance and societal importance. Their work has significantly contributed to the nation building of Bharat. As we all know, the most unique aspect of this year's award is all the awards have been conferred on great women of our great nation Bharat to honor and respect Nari Shakti, something that we Bharatiyas have been following since ages through Devi Saraswati, Devi Lakshmi, Devi Durga, and you know who were pillars behind Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. In that gesture of appreciation, may I once again call a big round of applause for every woman on the planet, to salute them and their virtues of the kindness, their virtue of compassion, their virtue of wisdom, their virtue of courage, and their virtue of love. We would like to express our gratitude to Padma Vibhushan and renowned scientist Dr. Raghunath Mashelkarji, also Padma Bhushan and creator of Param supercomputer, Dr. Vijay Bhatkarji, for bringing strong pillars, guides and patrons of selection committee of Bharat Asmita National Awards. We also thank other juries who are not present like Nadir Godrej and many others. We would like to thank our founder president, Revered Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, and our executive president, convener of BANA 23, Shri Rahul Vishwanath Karad sir, who conceptualized the awards and promoted them to acknowledge the contribution of great personalities. We would like to also put on record our sincere thanks to organizing committee for the smooth functioning of this large function. We would like to place on the record our thanks to print media, our thanks to electronic media too. Before going ahead, something came to my mind which I want to share about 2040 Bharat Asmita Award, where Mashal Garchi said I won't be there. But recently, for benefit of students of MIT World Peace University, Dr. Ritu Madam, ISRO brought a presentation. It was an exhibition and their buses came in and all scientists came and they were explaining through different photographs and different parts of satellites which were used earlier. One thing which came to my mind I wanted to share is that today when we do Google payment or online bank payment, Honorable Kidwai Madam, within fraction of second, the transaction takes place. So the signal goes from here, and as Dr. Ritu said, signal takes 20 minutes each way to Mission Mars. But for the financial transactions, you want to share 20,000 rupees to B's account, then within fraction of second, the message goes to the satellite and comes back within less than a second. Whereas, this was told by the ISRO scientists who were in the campus in last month. But they also showed the photograph where they showed that 50 years back we were not a rich country, and when we started ISRO, the first satellite parts were transported to the launch pad from the office of ISRO in bullock cart. Imagine now Mars mission in 2040. There could be the possibility that signal goes in few seconds and comes back from the Mars also. And that kind of a award will be given to the scientists of ISRO then. This is what is our wish to all the scientists, those who are coming. Thank you, Madam. And last but not the least, thank you all who have gathered here to honor BANA awardees in person. And thank you all professors and students, those who are on the online platform of all constituent institutions of MIT group of institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's once again congratulate today's esteemed winners of the Bharat Asmita National Award. With this, we come to this beautiful journey of Bharat Asmita Award for this edition of 2023. Jai Hind, जय भारत, धन्यवाद.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Well, sometimes we have to really go out of the box and think beyond the protocols. I'm sure you must have noticed that there are 7 faces, 7 empowered women, those who really made our country proud. But I'm sure you must have seen on stage that one face is missing. Madam Palki Sharma was supposed to be here, but she couldn't make it. But it is our fortune that we have her today online. Though Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir has proposed a vote of thanks, but it is our good fortune that we would be able to witness the presence of all 7 awardees of this 19th Bharat Asmita National Awards. It is indeed my honor and privilege to welcome the journalist and managing editor of Network 18, Madam Palki Sharma Upadhyay, on this very, very important occasion of 19th Bharat Asmita National Awards 2023. I request my technical team if they can please relay a small film made on life and work of Madam Palki Sharma Upadhyay.
Journalism is one of the most prominent pillars of democracy. Some journalists make it a point to keep that pillar firm. By the extraordinary contribution, Ms. Palki Sharma Upadhyay is one of those journalists. As a journalist as well as a news anchor, Ms. Palki Sharma Upadhyay started her career with Doordarshan, India's largest broadcasting network, in 2002 as a news anchor and reporter. She then joined Hindustan Times in 2004 and moved to CNN News 18 to become its anchor and senior editor. There was no doubt that she was one of the most popular news anchors of that decade because she was known for interviewing prominent personalities of the country such as cabinet ministers, opposition leaders, business heads, artists, and young achievers. In 2019, she joined WION, a multinational English news channel based in New Delhi. After working for 3 years as the managing editor of the channel, she resigned in September 2022. In 2007, she was awarded the Best Newsreader Award. During the News Broadcasting Awards ENBA, she was awarded the Best International News Show in English for a program, Gravitas. Ms. Palki Sharma Upadhyay could be proudly called as one of the most popular youth icons in modern journalism. We warmly welcome Ms. Palki Sharma Upadhyay.
It is indeed our honor to have Madam Palki Sharma, the journalist and managing editor of Network 18, as we confer upon her Bharat Asmita Janajagran Shrestha Puraskar. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for making here to us, at least online. I request you now to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
And first of all, let me thank you, all of you, for your patience. I know I'm joining you late, and I do apologize for this. I'm extremely grateful to the committee that thought of me as the right recipient for an award like this. The MIT World Peace University, Rahul Karajji, and the chairman, S. Malshekarji. I've heard from them, and I would have liked to be there in person with all of you to interact with you. But as some of you may be aware, we've just launched something new here at Network 18, and that's something that I could not have left and come all the way to Pune, but I hope to come and see you guys at some point later and to convey my thanks in person. This award means a lot, I think, for me and for my team. As journalists, we get all kinds of feedback. We are trolled a lot. We hear from people all the time about the stories we're doing, what they like, what they don't like. But recognitions like these, I think, go a long way in telling us that somewhere we're doing something right, we're striking the right chord. And I especially like the way you've titled this, the Bharat Asmita Award. That is something that caught my attention first. I think in all walks of life, but especially in journalism and media, there is an urgent need for us to complement the aspirations of the India that we're living in, of the Bharat that we're living in. And there are many Indias, there are many realities of India. And this is a country and this is a people that that has finally sort of arrived on the world stage, because we're not shy of who we are, and we're not shy of saying what we want to say in the way that we want to say it. So I think the media should, while also highlighting what needs to be fixed and what needs to be improved, the media should also highlight what is going well for us. It should tell the India growth story. It should tell the story of the aspiration of all the Indians, and that is what we hope to do through our work. We've launched a show called Vantage because we believe, and this is not a plug for my show, this is just because I very strongly believe in this. I think as a country, as a society, we are at a vantage point. We are a young nation, but we are an old civilization, and we have centuries of learning that can be used to further our goals today, and to teach the world, in fact, what can be done and what can be done differently, and we are poised to be able to do that. And in my own small way, as a cog in that larger wheel, I hope to be able to accomplish some of this and to work in this direction. So thank you very much once again. I don't want to take a lot of your time. I know that you were all preparing to wrap up, but I'm very grateful. Thank you for the award and for everything else.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for taking time out, and in spite of being occupied, you made it a point to be here. It was indeed an honor to have you here today as we conferred this important award, which actually would have had a shawl, citation of honor, trophy, and the award of rupees 1,25,000 rupees. But I'm sure, as you have mentioned in your speech, that you would be coming to meet all of us soon on some or the other occasion, and I'm sure we all would be waiting for that. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your presence. With this, we have, I would like to take this moment to quickly read the citation of honor, which would have been presented to Madam Palki Sharma. Bharat Asmita Janajagran Shreshth Puraskar for the best use of mass media and NGO. Journalism is one of the most prominent pillars of democracy. Some journalists make it a point to keep that pillar firm and with their extraordinary contributions. Ms. Palki Sharma is one of those journalists. As a journalist as well as a news anchor, Ms. Palki Sharma shared her career with Doordarshan, India's largest broadcasting network, in 2002 as the news anchor and reporter. She then joined Hindustan Times in year 2004 and moved to CNN News 18 to become its anchor and senior editor. In 2019, she joined WION, the multinational English news channel based in New Delhi. After working there for 3 years as the managing editor of the channel, she resigned in September 2022. Currently, she is the face of the new show launched on First Post. In 2007, she was awarded the Best Newsreader Award. During the News Broadcasting Award, ENBA, she was awarded the Best International News Show in English for her program Gravitas. Madam Palki Sharma could proudly be called as one of the most popular youth icons in modern journalism. In recognition of Madam Palki Sharma's contribution to journalism in Bharat and in appreciation of her fearless anchoring, we at MIT World Peace University, Pune, feel privileged today on 3rd February 2023 to confer upon Madam Palki Sharma Bharat Asmita Janajagran Shrestha Award for the best use of mass media. Let's give a big round of applause to Madam Palki Sharma. Thank you very much, and ma'am, we would be waiting for your visit to our institution. With this, my friends, thank you, ma'am. With this, my friends, we have come towards the end of the celebration of 19th Bharat Asmita National Awards, and now I would like to request everyone on the dais, to please rise in their seats for National Anthem. I request my technical team to kindly relay.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मागे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे.
Thank you very much. It is indeed our honor and privilege to have all of you here today. I request the students and audience not to use the right-hand side exit and keep it reserved for the guests. You may now use the left-hand side exit. The students are requested to keep the right-hand side exit for the guests.